my customer? Is that cool? No, listen, hey, the fact is, you came down here to be here, right?
Yep.
Okay, so the fact that you're here, you know, I want you to see the value in training, so I want you to understand it. I'm going to have you be my customer. Is that cool?
Sure.
And the reason why is because he's going to be the biggest skeptic in the room, which, I mean, like, I want you to be. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I like. I like that customers don't want to pay more. But you know what? They will if I give them reasons and excuses why they do it, okay? So, you got a 2011 Pilot, you got a 2018 Cruise right here you're buying, picked it out, it's got 20,000 miles. So I'm going to kind of walk through this, and I'm going to go through the Foursquare with you.
Okay.
And then, I've envisioned how this negotiation is going to go in my head already. So I already know exactly where I'm about to close him here in a minute at $4.99. I already know it. And by the way, guess what? Everybody understands money justification, right? You know what raw negotiating is? It's me doing this. And I'm going to explain the difference, and then I'll go into this. Look, you want to be at 300, right? I'm at 500. How close to this can you come? What can you do? Can you help me out a little bit? Can you meet me in the middle? Can you do this? Is this the old junk that people are sick of? Mm-hmm. This is old. We don't want to do this. But that's almost what you started to do with me, am I right? And I'm not picking on you, you had to go first.
But here's the deal. At $4.99 they're gonna walk. If I tell them if we do $3.99 and then I go back and get another pencil and he's gonna tell me no, that's it. That's when I can go back and say, show them the value in the Chevy Cruise.
Or you could just close them the first time in.
Yeah.
Do you know every time you leave the desk, do you know, okay, I'm here with you, right? You're here with your wife, and I'm showing you numbers, right? And obviously these numbers aren't exactly what you want. When I turn around and walk away, and I go back to the desk, what do you think you're saying? Hey honey, let's get out of here. This still ain't right. I'm telling you right now, when you turn around and walk away, what do you think they're doing? Getting on their phones. Don't leave your customers alone. The second that pencil comes out in that negotiation, I want you to understand this. If you're going back to the desk, you better run. You know why? You leave this guy unattended, guess what's going to happen? Can I manage your thinking the best of my ability while I'm right here? Yeah, that's my best chance. You know what I'm saying? My best chance is right here. Once I do this, he's on his own now. And now I got to come back in, and guess what happens? You have that deal with the guy's like, hey man, I kind of thought about it, and I think I'm just going to keep my car. And you're like, shit.
And 9 times out of 10, when we're doing that, we're giving up money.
Exactly. Now I'm begging you to stay and buy it.
Right.
The fact is, don't leave, okay? Don't leave. I get it, you have to get a commitment, but I'm going to show you a better way to do it, okay? And by the way, I can change these cars up a million different ways, but I want you to understand the theory that I've already envisioned in my head how I'm going to close them on this deal. Envision the negotiation going down in advance. I know you're going to say no. Like, I know that's going to happen, so I'm not surprised when he says it. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to go over this with you. And obviously your Foursquare is not as important how I'm going to do it. But when he says no, that's what I want to start working on. So I'll say, all right, cool, so the price is $18,900, and then obviously we have your TT now included. Your trade $7,000, your payoff's going to be $7,000, so we'll pay your bank off. This is set up with $2,500 down, cash today, and then on 48 months, obviously you make really good money, so you can afford a bigger payment. You have the option for a 48-month term, and then 60 months. And by the way, most of our customers don't have a 48-month option, but because you make really good money, you actually have the ability to pay it off faster than most of our clients do. So you can decide which term works best for you.
Yeah.
Cool. You see that right there? I say, I understand. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to go for the payment before I go for the cash. Why?
Because if you get the payment and the cash is already there.
Well, because if you get the payment, more than likely you can back into the cash. Am I right? Here's the deal. The guy that chases 2 rabbits loses both. Okay? If I go to fight you on cash, and then I go to try to fight you on payment, that's going to be a war. Am I right?
Right.
Just take the payment. Get the payment commitment, and then back into the cash now. Okay? All right? So number one, I'm going to say, I understand. Let me ask you a question real quick. How close can you come to $4.99? And you said 300. I say, awesome. Okay? And what are you currently paying on your trade-in? Awesome. So you're saying you can afford about 50 more for your new car, is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, you see that right there, guys? This right here is the back side of the sheet of paper that I have that Foursquare written on, right? Okay, so number one, remember how I told you number one I was going to do budget, right? Watch where this comes into play later on. Write this down. So I'll say, cool. So I flip it over and I'll say, cool, Mr. Customer. Just to let you know I was listening to you. I'm going to write the 50 more you said you could afford for your new car. This is your old car, and this this is gonna be your new one right here. You're currently paying $250, and I'm gonna write the new payment over here, but I won't say it, because I wanna say that. And I'll say, roughly, how much you spend a week in gas right now on your 2011 Honda Pilot? Just ballpark.
Probably 30 bucks a week.
Okay. 30 a week in gas. And you agree there's about 4 weeks in a month. Does that sound about right? Cool. So you spend $120 a month in gas right now driving your old Pilot. Okay? So I'm gonna bring down the payment, which is $250. You pay that to the bank. And that shows me that $370 is how much it costs to own your old car. So even if you don't buy a new car today, even if you don't buy it, $370 is about what it's costing you to drive your old thing between gas and payment. Does that make sense? Cool. So you work hard for your money, you put your money in the bank. When your money leaves the bank, that's truly the real money spent, right? Awesome. On your new vehicle over here, would you agree, better gas mileage, less money spent? Cool. So I'm gonna go to a cruise, I'm gonna cut your gas in half, that's gonna go to $15 a week in gas. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Better gas mileage, less money spent. I'm gonna do 4 weeks in a month, which is exactly what we did over here. And it shows me, I'm not the best at math, but it shows me $60 a month in gas is how much you're gonna be spending on your new vehicle. Now I wanna bring down the payment, I wanna see total ownership cost, which your vehicle's gonna cost. It's gonna cost about $549 a month now, or $559, sorry. So what I wanna do is this, obviously, when we talk about monthly payments, we know this, between gas and payment, it's gonna cost $559 a month to own the new one. You're currently paying $370 now on your old car, so even if you don't buy the new car, that's what you're continuing to pay. That look about right? $189 more. And when you came in here today, you told me you could comfortably afford about 50 more for your new car, is that right? Cool. So you said you could afford 50 more. So it looks like this new car is roughly about $139 more than what you're prepared to pay. But it's actually not. The reason why is your old car has no warranty on it. Okay? I want to ask you this question. The national average, what it costs to maintain a vehicle that's currently out of warranty, is roughly about $2,000 a year. Let me explain this to you. You got a 2011 model. If you were driving down the road, it's got 60,000 miles. It's great. It's obviously 9 years old. There's 1,000 working pieces on the machine. If the engine went out, how much do you think it roughly costs? Cool. And you don't have a warranty, that's something you have to pay, correct? Well, the national average on older cars is around $2,000, and that means this. So if you take the timeline of a year from January all the way to December, let's say for some reason in February the fuel pump goes out and you spend $1,000, and obviously you got a Honda, and they're great cars. Let's say you go 10 months, you're happy, nothing breaks, everything's perfect, but then in November you got your kids in the car, the heater core goes out. It ends up costing $1,000. Well, that 1,000 and 1,000 is the 2,000 a year, and that's called maintenance cost. Even though you don't have a monthly payment, you have a maintenance payment because you're on warranty. When you divide that by 12 months in a year, and I'm not the best at math, but that's roughly about $150 a month in a maintenance payment that you're going to have to budget for your old title. Now, if I take that $150 and I compare it to the $139 more that it looks like this new car is costing us, I'm actually saving you $11. As long as I have a full warranty, which this has a powertrain warranty right here, in 2018 with 20,000 miles. Okay, it's a 5-year 100. If for some reason this cruise right here, you drove it down the road and the transmission went out, I don't care if it costs $10,000, how much would it cost you? Nothing. Right. Payment never changes. So what happens is there's two types of payments. There's a variable payment and there's a fixed payment. Variable payments do this. Fixed payments stay the same. So over here, because you have warranty, if something was to break, it would have cost you nothing. So doesn't it make complete sense to trade, and it's super affordable? And if you look at the warranty savings that you've been paying in other areas, right? You're not going to be spending that on your new car. Plus with the savings you have on gas, total ownership costs, which we talked about, you put your money in the bank. When the money leaves the bank, that's real money spent. When gas goes to $5 a gallon, your new car's going to get paid back to the pump, where your old car will just continue to cost you more. So guess what? When you're looking at what you're paying now to what it looks like your payment's going up to, it's not actually going up. You're actually paying a lot now in other areas that you're not going to be paying on your new vehicle. Your budget's never changing. So with that being said, let me show you how we get your new car wrapped up.
No, man, I mean, this stuff here, I still have to pay for on a powertrain warranty, so I'm still $150 more.
Explain, what do you mean?
Well, the heater core is not covered on a powertrain.
No, I'm explaining to you the national average. Let's just take the heater core out and take this out. Let me ask you this. If the engine was to go out, you said it would cost you $5,000, correct?
Right.
So let me ask you this, you have a $250 payment, okay? And if you had to spend $5,000 on that engine, what would be your payment that month? $5,250. What would be your payment over here if the engine went out? $499, it would never change. You see, Mr. Customer, the fact is that it's not that you can't afford to do it, you can't afford not to do it. With cars being out of warranty, the national average labor and service is what, $100 to $120 an hour in service, roughly, like ballpark, plus parts and service. Well, that's stuff that you have to pay for when a car breaks. So just like you said, that this $5,000, and I want to ask this, just a minute ago I asked you if you had any cash down, and you told me you didn't have any cash down, right? If you don't have the cash to pay that, then you have to go borrow a loan on that $5,000 to put it back in your car. If you borrow the $5,000, would it make your car worth more money, or would it be worth the same amount of money as long as it had to work the engine? Right, so you find yourself losing $5,000 and having an extra payment on your car, right? On a $5,000 deal that didn't even have any more value to it. What do you think the payment would be on $5,000? $200? Well, guess what? Yeah. But now you're paying on two interest. You guys are a very smart guy, so you're paying two interest rates now on two payments. You're paying $450 a month, and now your car you owe $5,000 more than what it's worth. And today I'm giving you exactly what it's worth, and you don't have to risk it. So with that being said, obviously at the end of the day, it makes complete sense to trade. You work hard for your money. Let me explain this to you again. You work hard for your money. You put your money in the bank, okay? And then when your money leaves the bank, that right there is truly the real money spent. You see, if your bank is here, okay, and you have money coming out for gas here, well, that's real money. You have money coming out here to maintain your car, well, that's real money. And then you have money coming over here. That's all real money that leaves the bank, and this would be your payment. So just focusing on the payment would be silly. We need to focus on what's coming out of the bank, and that's the whole total. And so when you purchase your car, you don't ever have to worry about this. And like I said, if something like that would happen, what would you do? Well, number one, this protects your savings account because you don't have to spend the money out of your pocket. But even if you did have it, right, it wouldn't make the car worth any more money anyways. And you potentially find yourself taking a second loan. You wouldn't have those problems with this car. And again, if gas got $5 a gallon, you get paid back in the month.
Right, okay, so I'll do the $4.99, but I still don't have the
That's fair. So what I want to do is this. I'm going to go talk to my manager, okay? So obviously, when I put the $2,500 down, so I go and I take this and I would take a commitment. And I would say, okay, so the $4.99 payment, I'm going to put a cash down box right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to bat for you for a second, okay? On the $2,500 down, when is your next payment due? Cool, already paid it. So I was going to ask you to put that down next, but since you already paid it, you do that. Most of our customers choose to put the money down on a credit card because it's actually easier that way, and then they can pay it off through the year, plus it helps them build credit. What credit card would you like to put $2,500?
credit on that because you just told me I pay extra interest. I don't want to pay extra interest.
You're a smart guy, okay. So you don't want to put any money down, you don't have any money to put down, but at $4.99 a month, if I could do it with no money out of pocket, when we pay your car off, that's where we're good.
Yep.
Okay, so here's my deal. So watch this. And by the way, I grabbed him for a reason, okay? Because I knew like he wouldn't be giving even an inch of slack, right? Am I right? Okay? I mean, I feel like he was back there trying to just come up here and chew me up. Guess what? I'm just kidding. I'm teasing. No, I'm teasing. But I want you to be a part of this because I want you to see kind of how the training looks. Watch this. Me and you sat here together, right? I never left. Okay? And any time did you feel me be combative with you or make you feel insulted or like maybe your thinking isn't good? You notice how so many times a salesperson will try to make a customer feel down for that kind of thing?